Our membership and the people that come as audiences and participants is really varied. We really try and welcome local people through the door and to our kind of off-site events. The barriers to a lot of people entering like a formal gallery space are just unbelievable, and it's very elitist. So yeah, there's a big focus on local people. There's a big focus on people who don't see themselves welcome or reflected in kind of more formal institutions. When we say like early career artists, a lot of people are graduates from different, like creative courses at universities, but we've also got, we've had a few different prison leavers, and we've still got one. People who've recently moved to this country, we've got quite a few single parents, and just sort of anyone that's like not a really established artist.
So we have about 20 studio artists here who have each got individual working spaces, with the exception of 4 relatively early career artists who share a large space in the attic of the building. And then we have 2 independent venues as part of the building. So at either end we've got Cast Cafe and Clay Trap, which is an independent ceramics studio. So then we have users of the ceramics studio and regular users of the cafe. And then we have programme users, so people coming in to see the films that are on the show, to visit artwork, and people coming in to access learning programmes. So all of our local primary schools in Helston and the surrounding villages come in on a regular basis. Young people coming in for workshops and occasional other ad hoc workshops. So it's a kind of broad mix.
Primarily artists, creatives, designers, printmakers, illustrators. They're the main users in terms of like the studios themselves and things like the print room. Obviously it also reaches a slightly wider audience at times, because things like workshops might reach out to, like hobbyists or people that are creatively interested.
Essentially for us it is open doors to everybody, and we are known actually as the creative heart of Lambeth. And so sometimes my funding needs me to tick a certain target group who are maybe underrepresented and things like that, but people accessing, I would just say we're so diverse. Our local primary school, who we work with a lot for referrals, in that primary school, which is literally 2 minutes there, the building's there, speaks 68 languages. So, and it's in a pocket of Stockwell that's got high density housing estates mixed with the poshest streets. So as far as, maybe race and gender and culture, but from economic background, you just couldn't get more diverse.
St Ives is quite an interesting local community in the fact that there's obviously a very strong artistic, cultural demographic, but equally there's the fishing community, ex-mining community. So, and it's kind of reaching out to beyond the artistic community is really important, and getting people interested in the building, because it's the local community that really sort of, if they want a way of life to continue, it's really important that you get them on board.
The people using our building are artists, have been white, middle class, educated. But it's time to change that. It consists of 3 areas, Mabgate, Lincoln Green and Bermontoffs, and there's something like 10,000 residents in that area with 70 plus languages. So there's a big challenge there in terms of how you communicate. The majority of organisations and ourselves are predominantly white, middle class, and we need to do something about that if we're to change. For the last 3 years, we've been running a summer school, and that's been focused on the neighbourhood, and it's been fantastic. There's been sort of 20, 25, 30 kids who come for a week and hang out with us from the local community, and totally mixed. Leeds, or this particular area of Leeds, is a kind of an arrival point for immigrants and migrants coming into the city, and it was where the Jewish population arrived in the city. it's then moved on to being where the Irish community arrived and have been, and now it's growing over the last 5-6 years. It's been more Somali, East African, North African, Middle Eastern, Eastern European. That's who we're now looking to see to use the building. It's their future, and it's a long project that hopefully one day one of them will come and take my job if they want my job. But at the moment, the majority of those people will not cross the motorway into onto Quarry Hill. They just won't have. So we see our role as playing a role in that, in demystifying art and what creativity can be to those people.
It's a real mix. We have a broad range of people from sort of in their early 20s right through to people in sort of retirement age. With most arts organisations, it does tend towards being slightly more female, but it's honestly a complete melting pot. Most of our users are hobbyists. You know, it's someone who's working a desk job and really wants to get away from the screen, you know, for 15 hours a week, and they'll come in after a stressful day and be able to reconnect with something physical. I'd say that accounts for sort of 70% of our members. The other sort of 30% is, you know, beginners, people who are just looking to explore a new hobby, will come in for a couple of months and maybe dip out of it, and some real experience makers as well. For mental health, like it's, you know, getting out of a cycle of being stuck within, like, say, a stressful job or something, to be able to come into the studio and you know, get your hands on something tangible, I think can be a real help with people. And I know we have members here who it's helped them sort of recover from traumatic events and also just, you know, recover from a long week.
So in Digbeth, the venue is mainly used by artists or arts audiences that already are involved within the arts world. We don't really have that many passers-by or random people that would just venture to Digbeth for just to have a walk around, I suppose. Whereas here we have quite a lot of footfall just from the street. People are coming to the cafe. We run quite a lot of community activities. So we have families that live in the local area, children, mothers, also artists, because we run residencies from here, but graduate artists. So graduates and also artists that may not see themselves as professionals. Often use our community gallery, other community organizations. So we invite community organizations to use our space free of charge to put projects up. So we just taken down last week an exhibition by service users from the Birmingham Chinese Community Centre. So yeah, very different kind of audience and users of the space to the Digbeth side. We run classes from zero, and we also do quite a lot of work with older people, so anything from 0 to, I guess, 85-ish, and from all sorts of backgrounds, so it's very, very broad.
It really is really broad. It's really broad. It's not just kind of 20 to 40-year-old straight out of uni artists. Different people come to the gigs, people of different ethnicities, people with different socioeconomic backgrounds, because we actually don't create the program. We say yes to people who want to do things here. And it's really led by the people who are programming the events. Obviously we put marketing behind it so that their events are in our calendar, but we wait for people to come to us. If you're going to do stuff which people have to pay to come to, particularly if you want to engage people who come from like a Muslim background or a recovery background or people who don't drink alcohol, you've got to do events where the main secondary profit-making activity, i.e. selling booze, can't take place. So if you're engaging across a wide, like, diverse ethnicity base in the community, you have to just accept that half your events aren't going to make that much money because you're not going to have a bar. So a lot of the work that we put on here is designed by and includes, and the audiences are made up of people who come from a very low socioeconomic background, and so they don't or can't pay for their attendance. You know, most of the tickets for the shows that we have are like £3 or something. You know, and often if people need to come for free, we'll just say yes, sure, just come for free.
I would say primarily who uses our venue is our studio holders, but we also, like as you'll see today, we're just making stuff. It's not an official workshop, it's just we started making things for a project we're doing in a couple of weeks' time, and people were like noticing what we were doing, so they were like, oh, can we come along and join in? I think we've got people that are just initially would come in for food, and now they feel like just this is a place that they can come and hang out. Pretty much once a week we'll get free food from Lidl from their surplus, so we have that and distribute that. And then we also have, I don't know if you've seen, like out the front, we have free vegetables from Cornwall Gleaners, so they pick the leftover fruit and veg from the farm fields that otherwise wouldn't be able to go to the supermarkets, and they give us that to distribute. So we do get a lot of people that can't afford to eat almost. Yeah, so it's a really wide range of people, from people that, you know, literally can't afford to eat to people that are happy to pay £800 to come and stay here and do an art residency, or people that hire the space from the universities and things like that. So it's such a broad range, and we have from birth to like 80, 90. I think we're quite regarded as safe space for like trans people particularly. Several of our studio holders are trans. Yeah, like a safe space for queer people. People don't have to worry about, like, you know, you're not walking into it's an art gallery and need to act a certain way. Traditionally an area is an area of poverty, and like a lot of people used to work in mining and shipbuilding and things like that, and the quarries. So there's a lot of poverty, unemployment. We're an area of deprivation, and to see people that might not traditionally come into an art space has been really great. And to see people kind of come in, and even if they're just coming in for a cup of tea or something, then engage with the art.
We get tourists, people with money who want to collect artwork. We get visitors from abroad who will buy expensive work. And then we have a community larder, so we would get homeless people, taking pastries, etc. And the whole range in between. We have artists who come along to show their work. Also, they've built up a network, so they meet other artists here. We have lots of different groups, community groups who come in. A lot of groups because they can't afford to hire space in other places. We have artists who have studios, workspaces. We have lots of volunteers who come in who like volunteering. And then we have people who just come in to socialise, really. Lots of people who have maybe older people who have lost their wives, who first come to Red Wing after they've finished grieving, or not finished grieving, in the process of grieving, when they feel like going out again.